Everyone will be entering Season 2 pretty soon, so it's important to learn which zone is the best and which zone you should focus on when you're planning ahead. So in this video, we're going to be reviewing every single zone, we're going to be giving the pros and cons of landing in each zone, and then we will help you make the best decision for your alliance in order to land to the best zone and maximize your potential for winning the season. What is up guys, MEOWER here back with a brand new Call of Dragons video. So our Augustone event finally ended, in which we can now explore the entire map and the entirety of all Zone 1s. So I figured it would be time for me to help guide you on which the best Zone 1 is in the brand new Season 2 map, Belleron. Is it Belleron? Yeah, it's called Belleron. Yeah. So we're going to be taking every single zone 1, we're going to be dissecting it and seeing the pros and cons of every zone, and in the end we're going to help formulate an opinion for you on which zone is the best and which zone will give you the highest opportunity and chances for success in this brand new map with so many new trials that you will face in the future. So that being said, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like the video, because we'll be releasing more and more videos on all the new content that has been released, including more War Pets guides and skills. That being said, let's get started. So we're starting off, we're going to be starting with Aurion. We're going to make our way through Aurion, Skalera, okay, Enogad, and then finally Kraozon, and then in the end I'll be telling you my opinion on which zone is the best. So starting off, Aurion is one of the 4 starting zones. It is the one on the far right corner on the map. As you can see, it has 2 giant bears, every single zone 1 has 4 giant bears, 2 frost giants, and 1 magma demon. It's sort of the same layout as the S1 Plus map on the amount of behemoths there are, but the difference is that there are a lot of choke points and a lot of only one-way crossings across the map. So I am by no means a mapping expert, but I hope you have a really good territory planner, because that's what you're gonna need in order to succeed in this map, especially because you have 2 main things to focus on. You don't need every single giant bear. You just need the one that provide the Legion HP, which is in my opinion the best, and the train speed, which is the second best. You don't need peacekeeping, and you don't need gather speed. 5% gather speed is less than 3 minutes of actual gather time, and 5% peacekeeping damage is nothing. However, the Legion HP and the troop training speed both of them are the most important for you in terms of when you're planning which giant bears to have. So the way the map is laid out in Aurion, you can access both of them if you place your CF in the middle here between the Froze Mountains, I think that's how it's pronounced, and then you can flag your way to the right and down and upwards, eventually reaching the frost giant here. But accessing this frost giant is going to take a long time and might need you to even drop a CF, so you're going to have to see which way for you to do it. Sadly, I wish I could help, but as I stated earlier, I am a complete noob when it comes to territory planning. I just follow markers, be like, hey, build this. I'd be like, okay, sir, and I go there. I wish I could help in that, but Bros Frost Giants provide some really good buffs, so try to grab them both if you're landing solo. If not, you can just sacrifice and choose between 5% Legion March Speed, which is pretty incredibly strong, or the 3% Legion Defense. For that, I will leave that decision for you. As for the level 1 passes, there is only one level 1 pass in this zone, which accesses the Dwarven statue in the middle. Now, you cannot flag in this area right here. The only way for you to access the statue is by occupying one of those passes, which will then let you be able to contest the Dwarven statue and eventually fight for it. You cannot build any territory in this area. I will make a guide on this event as soon as it opens, because I still don't know how it works. So be sure to subscribe for that and stay tuned. If I am also mistaken about flagging, I will correct that in my video, and I do apologize if I'm wrong. This is just my prediction on the matter, and hopefully I'm not wrong. So this zone has only access to one level 1 pass, stating that, so you can only contest this area between the other zone. There is no much flexibility, as we can see in the future, and you have access to two level 2 passes. Both of them are adjacent on the river, so both sides or both alliances cannot realistically, one alliance cannot realistically control both level 2 passes. That is it for Aurion. Time to go for Skalera. Whatever. Skalera. Anyway, so Skalera, as you can see, is slightly bigger than Aurion. It's more spread out, has more crossroads and bridges and choke points. All of this stuff I know everyone loves. The important giant bears are a bit spread out, but again, you have closer access to the one in the middle here, which is the frost bear, frost giant, I mean, and the magma demon. So I would say placing like Howl has placed here, the core fortress gives you the highest access to multiple giant bears and the important defense buff, and also allows you access to a level 2 pass and a level 1 pass. The advantage of zones such as Skalera is that you have access to two level 1 passes. So for example, once you scout, you see here there is a super strong alliance that you cannot possibly contest for the Dwarven statue. You can just say, nah, I won't go here, and then you can go and contest the other level 1 pass to grant you a higher chance of winning this area, which in turn grants you a higher resource hero stamina recovery speed, which is pretty much the most OP buff possible, because as you fight, stamina becomes your limiting factor. So if you can recover that stamina faster, you pretty much have higher field presence for longer, and higher field presence for longer equals winning fights. You also have access to two level 1 and level 2 passes as well. Both are relatively inaccessible to a single alliance unless you're some sort of mapping genius. However, it is much easier here as it is closer to each other throughout the choke points and the river crossings. As you can see here, every single area has a lot of rivers and only one crossing. There's much more compactness in this map compared to S1 Plus map. So we're just gonna go through the map here. Of course, if anyone wants to see detailed views of the map, please send me a DM on the Discord or join the MEOWER and tag me. I'll do my best to provide it, but for the purposes of this video, I cannot realistically zoom in and show off every single thing. So we're just gonna be keeping this bird's eye view. Anyway, we're gonna keep on viewing. See here, there's a lot of stuff here, and then there is access to the level 1 pass here as well. And yeah, that is it for Skalera. Whatever. Every single time I pronounce it a different way. Here, next up we have Enogad. Enogad is a slightly smaller zone than Skalera. It is much more compact, and it's much easier to plan here, in my opinion, because the way the map is set up, every single area is adjacent to each other, and you can pour down every single place much easier than other zones to access the level 2 pass, access a level 1 pass, access the two most important behemoths, the train speed, the giant defense, and the giant bear HP. You can realistically plant your CF here and then branch out, or plant it here and then branch out properly, depending on what your map genius does. You can reach it out from multiple angles. You can also just plant it here next to this giant bear and end up taking all three, and then flag your way towards this level 1 pass and then this level 2 pass, securing yourself full dominance of the map. You also have access to two level 1 passes here as well. So you're in the same position as Skalera, where if you have a really strong enemy on this southern runic ancestor statue, you can just end up taking the other level 1 pass and contesting this for a much easier matchup, depending on your merger as well as your fellow zone neighbors. Nothing much else here in Enogad. However, This is the zone I started in, and then I researched away from it into Scala, but that is a topic for a different story. But yeah, it is easier to control both passes here. But again, don't be fooled. A lot of the stuff are complete choke points and completely inaccessible unless you're a flagging genius. And here it is slightly harder to properly place flags or have teleportation zones at least, so you can potentially place flags, but it will be much harder to place to teleport unless you completely control this field, and even then it is a bit tougher. So every single place has an advantage and a disadvantage in that regard. Finally, we have Kraozon. Kraozon is the last starting zone that you can choose from. It also happens to be completely flat out. It has much less mountains laying around that can block you, with the exception of this area right here. After you access the level 1 pass, you have here this giant bear that has the training speed up, which of course means the one next to it is the Legion defense, and of course the peacekeeping damage, and then here we have the Legion HP. So theoretically, you can access all three important behemoths along with the Magma Demon, a single level 2 pass, and a single level 1 pass here as well. So you have to plan accordingly in this zone because you don't have the same flexibility as other zones for you to plan out your passes. This pass can be accessible, it cannot be accessible, it would depend on you and your allies and how you plan to do it, but Kraozon, in my opinion, is one of the better starting zones for sure. And yeah, that is pretty much everything for the starting zones. Now, which zone is the best? If you ask me, I would say Enogad. Enogad has a much more compact area in comparison to Scala, which is much more flat out and spread out. It has access to 2 level 1 passes, same as Scala, but the core behemoths and the core passes are much closer to each other and easier to access than it is for something like Scala. The both edges that have level 1 passes, while Kraozon is a really solid starting zone, it has less options for level 1 passes and competing for the Runic Ancestor statues. So if you do care about this event, which I will show you now what the stuff it gives in the Proving Grounds, you should probably select a zone which has access to more than one level 1 pass, just to guarantee yourself a higher chance of winning this event and eventually winning the 3% hero stamina recovery speed, because like I said before, more hero stamina recovery equals higher field presence equals more advantage in the war. And that is pretty much everything for this zone. We can see here I did manage to explore everything. Here this is missing just a single percent. Once this zone is open, I'll be able to explore it and then finish 100% here as well. So that is pretty much everything for the new map. Once all zone 2s are open as well, I'll be sure to make a similar video to it, because it should be opening pretty soon after we start competing for the level passes and we can start competing for the Runic Ancestor statues. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you would like to see anything from the map, be sure to join the MEOWERs, then the link is in the description. Tag me there, ask me for the map, and I will try my best to show you everything in detail. But on that note, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please be sure to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Meow meow!